next type is a one-to-one model. Okay, one-to-one model. In that model is a each user thread to a kernel threads. Means what? Means whenever a particular users create a thread, suppose he just create a number of threads like 5 threads, then each 5 threads create a number of kernel threads. That is also 5 threads. Means one threads combination to a first kernel thread, second user level thread combination to a second kernel threads, like that. Okay, this is exactly a figure of a one-to-one model. One user thread connection or connected to a first kernel thread, second user thread connected or connection to a second kernel thread, third user thread connection or connected to a third kernel thread, and so on. This is exactly a one-to-one model. Means a number of user level threads are connected to a number of kernel level threads respectively. Okay, this is exactly things is a one-to-one model. One-to-one model are occur in a number of programs, number of files, number of projects. Whenever particular users create a number of threads, then automatically and behind a particular kernel or a particular OS is create a number of threads according to a user threads. That is exactly situation is a one-to-one model. Okay, now here is some advantages is a use in a parallelisms. Use in a parallelism means what? These models are successfully used in a multiprocessor systems or in a networking system. So that's why this is a parallelisms. Okay, here is a second advantage is a more concurrency. Means this model or this level threads or these models are more concurrency. Means these level threads or this model threads are executed simultaneously or at a time. So that's why this is a more concurrency. Now third one is a less complicated or a less sophisticated. This particular model is a less complex, less complicated compared to other models. Okay, now disadvantage is a limiting number of threads. Okay, means this is exactly disadvantage. Okay, means in this model we can create or we can use a less number of threads. Okay, so that's why this is disadvantages. Okay, now second one is reduce the performance. Okay, whenever these things are happens, okay, like one-to-one model in the program, in the file, in the task, in the process or in the project, so that's why we just get a very less performance, very less output. Why? Because first each and every users level threads are connected or combination to each and every kernel level threads. That time kernel level threads are totally depend on each and every user level threads. Suppose just assume some kernel level threads are blocking or not accessing, then automatically or that particular things are affected on a user level threads. That time our program and our projects and our particular tasks are not executed. Some blocking situation or blocking conditions or occurs that times. Okay, now third disadvantage is every time user thread that kernel level thread created. Means in that level or in that model, whenever we create a user thread, then we can must user or we can must create a kernel level thread also. That is exactly disadvantage. Now third type is and last type is a many to many model. Okay, here is just user level thread and here is just a kernel level threads. Means number of user level threads are connected or combination to at a time a number of kernel level threads. That is the exactly situation is a many to many model. Now here is a many users level threads to equal to a number of kernel level threads. Okay, that is the exactly definition or exactly things. That is the number of user level threads are connected or combination to a kernel number of kernel level threads. Okay, these things are happen in a program, in a file, in a projects. Okay, now if the system call blocking, then the kernel can execute another thread for executions. Now this is a very important point. Okay, suppose just assume a particular systems call block. That time the kernel, suppose a system calls are blocked, then kernel not execute a first thread, not executed a first thread, he can execute an rest of threads. Okay, suppose the system calls are blocked, then the rest of threads are executed in that model. Okay, now here is some advantage is a many threads created. Means number of threads we can create in that model. That is the main advantage. Now second advantage is a user thread equal to a kernel threads. Means suppose we create a 5 threads, then equal to a 5 kernel threads. Okay, we can create a 10 threads of a user now equal to a 10 threads of a kernel threads. Okay, that is the exactly advantage. Now disadvantage is a concurrency not use. Okay, means in this model we cannot use a concurrency concepts. Means in this model not executed simultaneously of a threads, not executed or not access simultaneously of user level thread. So that's why this is a disadvantage, and performance is very less. Okay, this particular model is performance is very less as compared to all other models. This is exactly a simple explanations of a one-to-one model and many-to-many models. Okay, this is a simple, and this point is a very important for exam point of view.